Hi. I'm going to start with reading the request. Working on being aligned with my creative side, feminine senses, and having the ability to turn something into another. I don't feel like I lack ideas or energy. I just had enough bad experiences that wasted my abilities and effort. I want to regain my sense of being able to create and maybe restore my courage, if this makes sense. Okay. So thank you to our community member who sent in this request. Calling the fullness of your mind into your body right now. Feel my warm hands pressing down on your shoulders. Feel your feet or your butt pressing down on the surface beneath you. Not squished, but secure. Held. Here. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's like drag races going on. Not even really that close. It's on the other side of like quite a big forest, but in between there's a creek that comes through the forest and the sound carries. And there will always be distractions and imperfections. And what's really being called in here, from in my experience, is a reminder that as painful, heavy, distracting or disappointing experiences may be, using the mind to name things as good and bad perpetuates the pain of duality. Okay. And our job, if we have any job, is to be here now to call our presence in, any of our presence or awareness, any, fragment of our soul self that's stuck in memories or experiences. If we are still thinking of something as a bad experience, it's likely that something is stuck there that we're still working on reclaiming. And often when we're experiencing something as a bad memory, we push it away or we suppress. We want to get rid of it in a way. That's what's arising for me to say is connected to naming something as bad. It's something that we are believing shouldn't really exist, and in that we are pressuring our system in a version of egoic control that is the opposite of surrender, and it will impact our creativity, our expression, our sense of ease and joy and relatedness, connection inwards and outwards. And Lordy, 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 we are trained to be disempowered and confused in this way. I certainly grew up in an atmosphere of good, bad, right, wrong. It's like all of life was on a table. Every action, every expression was logged on that table, and this sense of being constantly weighed and measured. But what was being weighed and measured was also only what was visible, which was never all of us. And so based on what was getting logged, it's like we would try to hide parts of ourselves that we knew would end up on the bad side, which really only made things worse. In terms of feeling easy, maybe our environments were seemingly easier in some way, but in other ways it hurt. It hurt to do that to ourselves. It was a self-betrayal. And it's an inheritance from ancestors, society that was filled with self-betrayal and the pain of it and the perpetuation of it, trying to deal with the pain of it. And we have to, part of the journey is softening to see that, to sense it, even to fully sense it, as in feel it. Because feeling is the gateway to surrender. And there are no good or bad feelings, because feeling is always actually beyond words, beyond being able to label. It's pure energy. We put words to it because that entertains us in a way. It holds our mind. It helps to give permission in some instances. Helps to hold back in some instances. goal in terms of liberation is to reside or be able to access the higher mind, which sits back here. Most of us, the ego is between the eyes, behind the eyes. And then we often think of the third eye in the center of the forehead. I really experience it if you're sitting behind your eyes and you go back and up. There's like a chamber, a sweet spot there, a seat. It feels really relaxed, where I can be the kind witness, where good, bad, right, wrong no longer has a grasp. So I invite you there now. This is a place of great courage. It is an embodiment of courage every moment that you spend there. It's a surrendering to a natural state of radical compassion within your own system that enables circulation akin to surrender and flowing creativity that's aligned and resonant with the reality that you most deeply dream of. It's a choice. Choice doesn't always feel accessible when we are distracted. And when we let distractions be labeled as bad or wrong, they become greater distractions. And so when we release that habit and even the subtle insinuations of labeling, we get access to the choice to move into the higher mind. So at first it requires effort, but effort well applied creates ease. In the higher mind, we connect with a really potent, juicy, truthy truth that we are the victim of nothing. The victims of nothingness. Desperate to make sense of this illogical manifestation of earth life that cannot make sense without a surrender to the spiritual, mentally incomprehensible connection between all things. All things. We don't want to frustrate the system, trying to pick and choose which pieces belong to that connection. That connection is all encompassing. And we surrender to that, and it is through that surrender where we have the most access to our sovereign navigation system, where we are consciously selecting what we are contributing, the life force moving through us, where it is being invested. Grounding all of that in, reconnecting with the grounding cord all the way into the center of the earth, feeling its golden weighted tug. Feeling it swaying beneath you, back and forth, back and forth, pendulating between all equal opposites, holding you in the depth of comprehension of the inescapable duality, while breathing into you the energy necessary to transcend. The suffering, the confusion of only seeing one or another, seeing one at a time, and then seeing another in a separate moment, and rather expanding. To see it all, to hold it all, without having to intellectually understand it all. Relaxing into the higher mind, the ego in retirement mode, enjoying the show, be it memories or future projections. From this moment, all is well. called to get a feather. I thought there were some eagle feathers here, but my attention, though I'm resisting, is being called to crow. See if you can spend these moments, these minutes, relaxing behind your eyes and up a bit. Lounging in your higher mind, breathing, while what I feel is crow is plucking obstacles and implants, parasites, the bugs that have been imprinted, that, keep digging the pathways for the old habits, the things we're letting go of to access the surrender. Not just once, not just sometimes, but as a lifestyle. And I feel a big, stadium of ancestors around us now, rooting for this transition. And yet there are distractions or interjections, interferences that keep coming in, and we continue. They're not bad or wrong. They're all sent from the same source. They might have gotten distorted, perverted along the way. But that's why it's so important that we do this work to breed permission in our own system and in our societies to dissolve the practices of judging as good, bad, right, or wrong, because that's what perpetuates the distortions and the perversions within our own mind and experiencing and within the collective. some movement in the gut. It's great. You know, working on the mind, and then suddenly this big rolling wave, gaseous wave comes through the gut. I wasn't, and those are direct correlations. Yawning, always a good sign, lots of energy moving. Be really curious how your body is showing you that this is taking effect. Oh yeah, baby. This is a big one. Thank you again for this question request. Taking a moment to take care of my candle here. Sending the warmth, this gentle fire through every layer of your being, through every cell of your body. Celebration, in exaltation of any grief arising, whatever words one might use for the feelings being experienced or asking to move through. The guides are saying you have all of our approval. All of you is approved of. Feeling angelic white light moving through the brain, just kissing all the pathways. Stroking your ears. White light is gliding all over your skin and also rippling through your veins. Let it come through your feet. Move through. No holding on to this either, letting it leak, release, discharge, recycle. This life force, this universal life force is infinite. noticing you always, always, always. And relaxing into the higher mind, we remember to use our free will to say, fuck yes, full permission, kiss me everywhere. The good, the bad, the right, the wrong, the hot, the ugly, the wretched, the gorgeous, most glorious, and the goop, the gunk. All of me, all of me, all of me, all of me, all of me. Don't leave anything out. Wholeness restored. And the best protection, the best way of being for health and happiness is to take up all of you, for your presence to fill you. And let me know if that's what you feel like is happening here. If there's anywhere that it feels like your energy is meeting a ceiling, bringing the heat of your attention there to that ceiling and just being with it. You don't have to punch or kick your way through it or anything. You certainly don't have to leave it there. Bring the heat of your attention and quality presence anchored in your higher mind to this ceiling that you sense where the energy is caught. Be with it, smile at it. Send it all of your love and illogical understanding and watch it melt and watch the energy burst through. So delighted to continue filling you up. Breathing slow and long and deep with me, please. Join me in this hand movement if you can, if you will. Releasing resistance, subtle resistance. Keep going. Keep being here in this right now. Stay with me. Awesome. I'm going to seal up this session. Wrapping you in gold, sparkling light in my mind's eye, calling on all the angels, archangels, benevolent entities who are available, desiring to assist. And in that, layers on layers of white light surround you as well. Some green, some pink, some violet, a little bit of indigo. Sincerely, all my love.